What's going on, everybody? I'm Michael Vick, and I'm your host for Vick on the Mic. And on today's show, we're talking big injuries around the league in the NFL, and we want to know from you, the fan, which one will keep that team from making the playoffs. Plus, AB's week just got a whole lot worse, why the embattled receiver may be done, and a Jag star wants out of Jacksonville. After asking for the bag during the offseason, it looks like he's now ready to pack his. All that next on Vick on the Mic. In just a few short weeks, we've already seen the injury bug plague several teams that had huge playoff aspirations coming into the season. Of course, in week 1, it was Nick Foles down in Jacksonville, whom the Jaguars paid big money for in the offseason. He's going to be out to week 11 with a broken clavicle bone. And in the same game, Tyreek Hill also suffered a shoulder injury that's going to sideline him 4 to 6 weeks. And then in week 2, the big ones, Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees both went down in their respective games and did not return. As we look at the highlight here, we're going to see Big Ben drop back, and he's going to suffer the dreaded non-contact injury to his throwing elbow. As you can see, wincing in pain there. Would try to complete another pass and could not do it. The MRI did reveal that Big Ben will miss the entire 2019 season with that elbow. And then in the Saints game, he's going to drop back, Brees is. He's going to get pressured by Aaron Donald. Donald's going to swat that hand, injuring the thumb, and the fear there is ligament damage to that thumb. That would later be confirmed, and that's going to keep Brees out for a minimum of 6 weeks, as Brees, trying to grip a football on the sideline there, just simply could not do it. And so with that, Brees being out for 6 weeks, that means Teddy Bridgewater is going to be sent in to fill in for Brees, who's only missed 1 game in 13 years for the Saints. The 40-year-old is Mr. Durable, and we know that they want to get back to the Super Bowl with the last few years that they've had. They're going to have to do it now without Brees for a minimum of 6 weeks. And so with these notable injuries, we want to know from you, the fan, which one is going to keep the respective team from missing the playoffs? Is it Foles in Jacksonville? Is it Tyreek Hill, who's going to miss probably a minimum of 6 weeks there in Kansas City? Or is it Ben Roethlisberger, who's out for the season, or Drew Brees, who's going to be out 6 weeks there in New Orleans? We want to know from you, the fan. Hit us up at our Twitter handle at Vick on the Mic, and we look forward to those poll results. It was another extremely bad week for Antonio Brown, whose string of self-sabotage seems to know no bounds over the course of the last year. But this is of a different nature, and this is certainly much more serious. And as new allegations have emerged against him, both Nike and his newly designated team, the New England Patriots, are speaking out. First on Thursday, Nike firing Brown, simply stating that he is, quote, not a Nike athlete. And then on Friday, the New England Patriots releasing Brown, cutting him just 11 days after signing the embattled receiver. Brown very quickly to take to Twitter, thanking the Patriots for the opportunity. But it didn't take long for him to go on a tweeting revenge binge, first saying that he's essentially done with football, threatening to retire, then calling out Patriots owner Robert Kraft and former quarterback Ben Roethlisberger for what he clearly views as a double standard. Since then, those tweets have been deleted, but my goodness, how did we get here? Just a year ago, we were talking about Antonio Brown as arguably the best receiver in football, went in, week out, worked his butt off, put up huge numbers, and that was it. Now it's just nothing but drama, petulant, childlike behavior, social media outbursts, temper tantrums over helmets, frozen feet, fights with GMs, and now this of a much more serious nature. And so the question remains, now that the New England Patriots have released Brown, have we seen the last of him? Is that the kiss of death? If so, it's just so sad to see an athlete of his caliber at the pinnacle of his career throw it away, all because he doesn't know how to act. And not to mention burning through $40 million in just a few short months. But let's be very clear. If in fact we have seen the last of Antonio Brown, he has absolutely nobody to blame but himself. Between the injury to Nick Foles and the Jaguars' 0-2 start, things have gotten off to a very rocky beginning there in Jacksonville for a team that felt extremely confident coming into the season. Well, things got even more dicey during Week 2's loss there at the tail end of the game when star cornerback Jalen Ramsey and head coach Doug Marrone got into a heated altercation on the sideline and had to be separated from one another. The very next day, Ramsey requests a trade from the Jaguars. Now, when I first heard this news, honestly, I thought maybe this was one of the heat of the moment things where emotions run high during the game and you work it out, you talk it out, things are fine the very next day. Apparently that's not the case. This has been escalating since the offseason when some things were said between Tom Coughlin and Jalen Ramsey. Coughlin critical of Ramsey for not showing up to voluntary team activities. Of course, if you know Tom Coughlin, you know how he is. All the while, Ramsey has wanted a contract extension from the Jaguars to be paid as the highest coveted corner in the game. Well, he didn't get that. So what he did when he finally arrived at camp is roll up in a Brinks truck. One of the better intros, I might add, but things apparently reached a boiling point after Week 2's loss in a meeting between Ramsey and Coughlin. Some things were said. Ramsey felt disrespected by Coughlin. That is when he went to his agent and demanded a trade. I've been told that teams are listening, the Jaguars are listening, but Ramsey has come out and basically said that once respect is lost by both parties, I think it's time to move on. And so, wow, there's really a lot to unpack here. But at this point, the Jaguars don't seem to be willing to deal Ramsey. Why would they? He's a star. But at this point, they want to pay him. They want to give him an extension. Shad Khan, the owner, has come out and basically said, hey, we want to pay him and make him the highest corner in the game. Even after hearing that, Ramsey is sticking to his guns here. So all he's done since last week is miss practice due to the flu, a sore back, and now he's away for the birth of his second child. So either all of these things are legit or Ramsey is playing a little game of cat and mouse with the Jaguars. So it'll be interesting to see what the Jaguars do here. But look for a team like the Philadelphia Eagles to get involved for the coveted corner. Obviously, they have a need there. Ramsey's not happy. We'll see how this transpires there in Jacksonville. Well, that's all the time that we have for you today on Vic on the Mic. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.